Those scratches on the cave floor look deliberate. They must be a thief mark. You just barely made it across the pit. You put your thumb on your nose and wiggle your fingers while rubbing the other hand on your belly.
Idiot! We need no more fools around here. Go away!
You make the peculiar motions of the thief sign to Igor.
Do you make fun of Igor or what?
The shopkeeper looks concerned when you make the thief sign.
I am sorry, but I don't have any medication for epileptics. Maybe Dr. Cranium could help you. Good.
You put your thumb on your nose and wriggle your fingers while rubbing the other hand on your belly. The old man ignores you. Someone has deliberately scraped these marks into the ceiling. By moving the hooks around, you have opened a secret passage. You climb down the ladder into a seedy-looking room. A massive door blocks off a smaller room in the rear. This isn't as dusty as the Adventurers Guild, and the torches look recently lit. Your eye is drawn to the Thieves Guild recruiting poster on the back wall. It gives you fond memories of your home guild. This is a Thieves Guild recruiting poster, featuring a sophisticated worldly master thief. In an early excess of 3D poster art techniques, the artist has arranged the poster so that the thief is holding an actual plastic card. A legend at the bottom says, "Don't thieve home without it." This seedy place must be the Thieves Guild Hall. Actually, it compares favorably to the one in Spielberg, but it's become dusty and neglected. There doesn't seem to have been anyone in here for quite some time. Some barrels have been stacked up in the corner, probably leftovers from wild guild parties. The well-worn oak desk looks as though it could conceal 1,000 secrets. Most of the drawers appear to be fakes. The one real drawer is locked. It's one of those basic, uncomfortable wooden office chairs. This is a drainage grate. Strange that there should be two of them almost next to each other. You examine the metal grate on the floor. It might be a drainage grate, but it's strange that there should be two of them right next to each other. The painting is undoubtedly a forgery. Not that you know anything about art forgery, but you're quite sure that it would have been stolen a long time ago if it was actually worth anything. This CD... The double doors are, of course, locked. This is a thieves' guild, after all. Ladders. Why does it always have to be ladders? You'd think someday you'd find a thieves' guild with enough money to build an elevator, or at least a staircase. Anyway, this one leads up to the secret entrance from the Adventurers Guild Hall. Oh, that's a really unthief-like thing to do. Causing wanton damage tends to discourage people from leaving their valuables out for you. The poster is firmly attached to the wall. There's nothing behind this one. The poster is firmly attached to the wall. There's nothing behind this one. You slip the guild membership card between the doors and unlatch the lock. Your guild card. Don't leave home without it. There are a number of fascinating books about thief techniques on the bookshelves. Of special interest is the one on disarming traps. It says that with the new Mark II Thieves' Toolkits and a bit of skill in picking locks, you can locate and disarm almost any mechanical trap. In the section on surviving magical traps, the book suggests taking up religion. There is also a book on thief marks that tells you all about this secret language of thieves. You learn a number of new symbols and combinations. That didn't do it. Rummaging around under the floor drain, you find a round knob with a point on one side, which you pick up. Thieves have had to clean up after themselves since a few unfortunate accidents with maintenance personnel. That did... There does seem to be something under this barrel, but you've got no clue of what to do with it. You try to hobnob with the robbed knob, but it only makes you sob, Bob. Now that you've replaced the safe knob, the Filch safe looks ripe for the cracking. You know, kind of like a walnut. To open the safe, you will need to spell out the combination with alternating right and left turns. This would be a lot easier if you knew the combination. You don't have any rations. You quickly rifle the opened safe. Unfortunately, it looks as though legions of Thieves' Guild initiates have been here before you, as all the money is gone. You do find 5 throwing daggers placed here for, well, safekeeping. The only other usable thing in the safe is a single lockpick, half buried in dust in one corner. You grab the lockpick and the daggers. You clean out the waxy build-up in your ears with the lockpick. You found a particularly diabolical poison gas trap. Fortunately, it's just like one of those described in the book on traps, so you are able to disarm it. You're kidding, right? The desk is, of course, locked. You'd better not. It might be trapped. Ah, that did it. The lock springs open with a satisfying snick. Inside the desk you find a complete and hardly used Mark II Thieves' Toolkit. It has all the latest facilities for opening the toughest locks, cracking safes, and disarming mechanical traps. There is one lockpick missing from the set, so you add yours to it. You also find a fancy match set of 3 throwing daggers, which you add to your collection. Finally, you find some sort of diary or logbook in the desk. The title of the book reads, Memoirs of a Master Manipulator. Modest, eh? You take it out and set it on the desk, but it's a little heavy to carry around with you. You leaf through the Chief Thief's logbook. An interesting entry speaks of a proposed night raid on the castle. The guild members would use the secret passage to avoid notice. You wonder which secret passage that might be. A later entry in different handwriting indicates how far the guild had declined recently. It seems to be just a bunch of doodling and some nonsense words. It says, Bad boys yell, good girls giggle, rich girls run. Not quite on the same standard as a nighttime castle raid. One of the final entries says, Fred and Frank caught out at night without hooks. Fred is dead and Frank sank. I'm the last. An ambitious thief will try to prosper by hook and by crook. The log closes with some incoherent ramblings about passing the deadly tentacled beast, then the horror, shadows of darkness enfold me, madness and mockery in the dark one's chamber. Sounds as though the author was in a chemically modified state. You depress the barrel tap, but nothing comes out. Instead, the barrel slides across the wall to reveal some sort of mechanism. This is a door unlocking mechanism. To operate it, push each of the tiles until all 9 tiles have been set to the correct pattern to open the door.
So, you found my secret passageway. You must excuse me. I'm not quite myself anymore. Oh, don't worry. I won't hurt you. It is good to talk to someone again. It has been so very long since anyone has been here. But I'm forgetting my manners. Welcome to Mordavia. I am the chief thief here. I'm also the only thief here other than you, but that is beside the point. Pleased to meet you. It's so good to have someone of my own kind to talk to again. Interesting. You have had a good deal of experience. If you study up on trap disarming and thief signs, you will have almost every skill you need to become a master thief. Perhaps even a chief thief like myself. You are a very brave and honorable man to offer such a thing. Are you certain you are in the right profession? Do you want to be a thief or some kind of a hero? The 2 roles are usually mutually exclusive, you know.
Feeling like an idiot, as you generally do when making the sign, you go through the motions of performing the thief sign to the monster.
Well, of course you're a thief, or you wouldn't be here, idiot! Tuck that elbow in tighter on the belly rub next time. There is a little-known secret way into the castle that I will someday reveal to you when I think you are ready. This was once a thriving training ground for new thieves. They would come from miles around to learn the trade here. If only we were not completely cut off from the rest of the world, this would be the greatest thieves' guild in the whole world! After I became such as I am, many of the members left. One thief said that I was no longer fit to be chief. After I showed him how fast I could throw daggers with these feet, he didn't say much. Never said anything again, as a matter of fact. The ones that left said they felt uncomfortable around me. Fools! Do they think this is some sort of brotherhood of man? This is a brotherhood of thieves! They should be uncomfortable around me. Soon it was just me and 2 others. They decided to explore the castle after the new owner moved in and never returned. So now, there's only me and you. You mean this passage behind me? It leads out of town under the bridge near the gate. You can use it to get out of town, but you cannot get back in. The door can't be opened from the outside. You have to be very careful with traps. Always check for them first. Take your time disarming them. One mistake can be your last. We are not exactly set up right now to fence stolen items. There are several places around the town where you might be able to find a bit of loose cash, though. I will tell you what. You go out and steal something from someone in town and come back and tell me about it. If it sounds like you know your basic thief skills, I will let you know where the really good places are. Do you like it? I'm afraid it is not very becoming, and to think I once despised cockroaches. It would be too dangerous for you to help me. If I, a master thief and chief of a major guild, dare not go back to the monastery, you would be wise not to even think of such a thing. I made a terrible mistake and broke into the monastery one night. It had been abandoned for years, and I thought maybe something had been left behind there. I discovered a secret passage to the basement. That place gave me the creeps. I felt like something was watching me all the time. When I got to the basement, I discovered a small statue I could easily take. When I tried to pick it up, I felt very, very dizzy. When I awoke from my faint, I looked like this. You can imagine my horror. Do you think it's fun to have 6 legs and no matching socks? Do you think I enjoy running around frantically and stopping suddenly for no apparent reason? Do you think it's fun to look in the mirror and wish you had a giant fly swatter so you could commit suicide? Is that your idea of fun? You idiot! You! Forgive me, I'm just not myself lately. My name? Oh, you can call me Chief. No point in being informal here just because no one else is around. This was once a very prosperous town before the swamp cut off the only passages in or out of here. That is a very dangerous place. Do not even think of trying to break into it through the door. The last thief who tried that did not even get the door open. We found his toolkit lying beside the door, but we never found him. You will need to be careful around him. He takes his job most seriously. I once offered him a bribe, just as an offer of goodwill, and the man practically bit my head off. Shee, what a sore head. A strange man, a very strange man. No thief ever managed to break into his house unnoticed or steal anything from there. If you ever plan to stay at the inn or even just eat there, I would not recommend stealing from that place. The people there are suspicious of strangers anyway and would know who to blame. Do you mean Nikolai? Yes, his would be an easy house from which to gain money. Be wary, though. The Burgomeister's bedroom is beside the house, and Dmitri watches out and listens for the old man. That shop is very securely locked up at night. The only way to get into it would be to very literally break in the window, and that would attract unwanted attention. Do not try it unless you want to get caught.
He looks like a cross between an enormous beetle and an older version of your old buddy Ugat. You may have smashed bugs before, but this one would put up a fight. Ah, you found a hidden safe. Good work. It sounds pretty safe. You set up the thieves' toolkit and try to disarm any traps that may be on the safe. You have successfully disarmed the safe. Using the Mark II toolkit, you quickly manage to get the safe open. Inside you find 6 crowns, a throwing dagger, and a potion labeled Poison Cure. They seem a fitting reward for your efforts, so you take them. Ah, you found... You set... You have success.
That...
You crack the safe using the Mark II toolkit. You take the healing potion, throwing dagger, and 5 crowns someone was foolish enough to leave inside.